If it is not FedEx.com, don't click on the link.
Welcome to Rely on Local. We're so happy to have Doug Wiiliams from One Click IT Solutions here with us today.
Thank you, Nick, for having me.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to be talking about some wonderful things going on with IT and the things that are going on within our world around us for IT and phone solutions and all those types of things. But welcome to Rely on Local. We're trying to be that advocate for local here in our community, helping local businesses gain visibility and gain connections. Thanks so much for joining us today. Doug. One Click. Cool name.
I wish I could take credit for it.
That was your chance. You could have jumped on it.
I know. I'm just an employee to it. But I think ultimately the idea behind the name was gives you one place to get all of your IT needs taken care of and all of the broad spectrum of things that we do with our services.
Sure, sure. No, I love to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. That was one of the things we were talking about before starting here today was what really One Click really has. And I don't think we ever even came to anything that you guys don't do. I mean, it just seems like there's so much going on there, from phone services to IT to websites to hardware, software. It seems like most everything, SEO, a lot of cool things going on. Do you know where One Click got going and how it got going? How is that came about?
So I kind of just know the basic things. They started in 2009.
Okay.
So we've got a good service history behind us. You know, they basically just wanted to be a good solution to help businesses to function properly, try to keep their costs in a reasonable manner, and run a business and as that, and
good idea.
Kind of go from there. So
no, I think that's a fantastic idea, because I think a lot of people are very afraid when it comes to IT needs or IT trouble. You know, it's just like, oh no, I got to call the IT department, or I got to call somebody for my IT needs, and that's going to be a big bill. So I think it's really nice that you guys can come in and work with many aspects of what they need. And the One Click, I think, really is the real thing there.
Absolutely.
Because it's one click, and you can be getting a lot of things taken care of, so that's really cool. I know since I've been talking with you about this over the last several weeks, the phone services seems to be a big part. The voice over internet seems to be really taking off today.
Yep.
Do you think that's really more of a cost advantage? What do you think that advantage is there?
Well, there are multiple advantages. The way we do our pricing, we have a huge advantage for a lot of our clients.
Okay.
But on top of that, it is the actual functionality of it. Okay. Makes it easier to expand. It makes it easier for people to be able to do things remotely.
Okay.
The functionality of the extra features that are built in behind it make it easier.
Cool.
So that's why a lot of companies are moving that direction. It's very flexible based on what their needs are.
Excellent, excellent. Well, again, I think with IT, it scares people. You know, the big things of IT, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with this or how to do that, the functionality of this or that. It's amazing how many people that I talk to through the RelyLocal world having trouble with their IT. So I'm super happy to be partnering up with you guys and having you on board with RelyLocal. So it's been really cool to learn about these things, and then moving forward from there to be able to help a lot of the network and then the public in general too. So.
And we're very much, in educating our clients.
Okay.
The more things you learn, the easier it is to help protect your network of, because you're always going to have a software side of being able to protect your computers.
Okay.
But you also have to train your employees at least a little bit to watch for, the phishing emails, and
we were just talking about that.
The things that don't look right that they really shouldn't be clicking on. So there's multiple aspects of that training.
Sure. Well, that's a good segue into what we were just talking about a few minutes ago, and I know we wanted to talk about it here today. A lot of people might get an email and it looks fishy, or there's something, why would FedEx be asking me this question, or I don't think I have a package coming, or there's a big deposit waiting for me, right? You know, it's like all these things that are so out there.
Yeah.
Always be aware, be afraid. But now, what do you need to have protection for that? What is the big thing that maybe OneClick can help with that?
So, I mean, even from a general perspective for anybody, the one thing you could always do is you take your mouse and the link that's in that email, if you hover over that link.
Without clicking.
Yeah,
okay.
Usually a couple seconds later, something will pop up and it will show you the address of where it needs to go. If it is not FedEx.com, don't click on the link because it's not going where it's telling you it needs to go.
Right.
But we provide services. We work with businesses to install the best antivirus software. We work on, if their networks is protecting different ports, that if things aren't being used, we shut down some of those ports to, hackers don't try and get in to those types of things.
Oh, sure.
I was telling you the story, we had a client where our software blocked the crypto virus, which basically encrypts all of your files on your computer from all of their computers except for 2 that they didn't tell us were on the network.
Oh, boy.
And those 2, because in crypto, if you infect one computer on the network, it will find and talk to the other computers and infect everything that it can get talk to.
A true virus of trouble, yeah.
But our software actually, our antivirus software that we sell, protected those computers.
Okay.
And did what it was supposed to do, except for those 2.
Stopped it right there at that point then, so it didn't get any further. Oh, that's really good. That's really good.
And one of the big things that you don't want to get crypto is even if you pay the ransom, it is still a gamble of them actually sending you the encryption key to unlock your files. So
what incentive is there for them to do that? Doesn't matter to them one bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So some thieves are nice enough to actually unlock your files, and some of them will say, "Well, thanks for the money," and
have a great day.
And have a great day, and you're out of luck.
Oh no.
Which is another good reason why to use backup services, which is something else we do provide.
Okay. Because now you have it in a separate area, you can bring everything back and start fresh.
Right. So we do. We have options of doing on-site backup services. We have a replication service that can replicate it off-site, so that if your business were to have a natural disaster of some kind, your files are off-site in a completely different location.
Oh, interesting. That's a great idea.
There's always, you've got to look at all the different aspects. The biggest question I always ask business owners is, how much does it cost you per day for your business to be shut down?
Right.
How long, because how long would it take you to restore those files? How long would it take you to, get back up and running again?
Right.
Where when you have that off-site replication, you could be back in business the next day again.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, what a great idea. I didn't realize the replication aspects. I knew of backing up, but that's a cool idea to have that as something that can instantaneously be back up and going for you.
Yeah. Well, I know there are some location. Yeah, and I know there's business owners that will say, "Well, I take a backup home and I swap the drives, once a week or, sometimes once a month." And, sometimes they haven't thought about is, okay, so that backup, if it's a week old, if that disaster happens the day before their next swap out.
Right.
They're now a week behind.
Yeah.
So then it takes time to get back up and running.
Right.
Plus, they have to re-enter a week's worth of work.
Right.
How much does that cost your business?
Right. You've just messed up a whole week worth of business. That's probably not going to get done.
And that's if they remembered to do it.
Good point. You want something seamless.
Someone could have been on vacation. Someone forgot to do it. There was a hardware failure.
Right.
There's
so many things that could be going on there. Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Good point, actually. Very good point. Now, obviously, OneClick is touching into a lot of things. We were just talking about that a few moments ago. If you're a business owner X over here, and you are trying to get your IT upgraded, or if you're trying to move in different directions with IT that you realize that it's going to be a major need of what you have, when you were to come in to them with OneClick, What are some of the things that you usually look at right away? What are some of the things that would be the focal point that a business should be looking at or can?
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of things vary from business to business.
Okay.
Some businesses can do stuff cloud-based. Some
Okay.
businesses need things to be more on-site. More powerful hardware, quick responsive times, big data files, different things. So
Okay.
the big thing is, we don't go into a customer and say, what can we sell them?
Right.
We go into a customer and say, ask them questions, how they're running their business, what do they think their needs are, where do they see the business growing in a few years, and say, okay, well, based on our conversation, this is what we feel will meet your needs.
Nice.
And not try to oversell them.
That's cool. That's cool.
We prefer to have people to be long-term customers than make a buck now and then never see them again.
Hit them and then that's it and see you never. It's like, okay, we're out of here. No, I think that's the best way to approach these things because, well, and then in the future, the updates and the upgrades that are going to be needed are going to be there. You got to have those types of things. You should have a relationship with somebody in IT. If you're in business, you should have some type of relationship with somebody in IT for whatever, even if you're a smaller company, obviously if you're a larger one. And that should be a conversation right from the start. Hey, here we are today. This is where we'd like to be. How can you help us get there?
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. And if you can feel comfortable in the fact that you're not going to be getting things that you don't need or whatever, this is the best, you got to have this, and this costs this, and this costs that, maybe to be able to have somebody actually on your side to talk about it, I think is very important.
And we have done that with clients and said, okay, well, this would feature needs for this moment, but you mentioned that you plan on growing.
Yes.
So this is the next step up. This would allow you to grow into without having additional expenses a year or two down the road.
There you go.
And
Good to know.
Sometimes you have those conversations and say, yes, it is a tad more expensive.
Sure.
But in another year or two, you're not spending another $1,000. You're only spending $200 more now.
Right.
But again, that's that fitting their needs.
The conversation needs to be made.
Right.
That conversation from the start needs to be made so people can feel like, okay, I've got these things going on. I envision this. We've had this trouble in the past. I think past is important there.
Oh, absolutely.
Because people have got these things going on, and obviously the conversation they're having with you today probably came from a past issue, maybe.
Yep.
But hopefully they're being proactive and they're talking with you for future things or future ideas. So that's a great idea for that.
Well, and we even work well too for brand new businesses that are starting.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of, even with our networking equipment, have options for monthly services.
Oh,
so
okay.
instead of saying, okay, well, you got to go out and buy $10,000 worth of equipment, we can say, for now, we can start you on a monthly package where you basically are renting your switch, your wireless, kind of getting the network started.
That sounds like a great idea, actually.
Renting the backup. There's different ways so that budgetarily you're not having, any business getting started is spending lots of money on legal things and buildings and,
tons of things.
Getting new computers and desks and, it's a lot of money going out the door. If we could help mitigate that a little bit, we're always
That's a great idea.
There as an option.
You were also talking, I remember at one of the lunches, about websites and kind of doing that focus in the website world.
Yep.
Now, how does that work?
So we have an option with our websites where it is a monthly fee, and we start at $79 a month.
Okay.
Now, with that, we include all of the updates for the back end of the website. It includes what's called an SSL, which means it's a secured website.
Okay.
And then we also, every month, include a half hour worth of labor.
Oh, wow.
So as you grow your business and want to keep adding onto your website, you can use that labor time to say, hey, okay, I need to add another page. I need to update this information.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's really good.
If you're a company that does like construction work, you can add, pages that say, here's pictures of our work, and you can send that to us.
So as you grow, this can grow.
Correct.
Oh, very nice. And to incorporate that right away is really a neat idea.
Because a lot of times up front for websites, there's companies out there that it's $2,500 up front. Then we've talked to companies that it's $40,000 up front for a website. So obviously for a little bigger website, we have a bigger monthly plan.
Sure.
But we've even done e-commerce sites. We do, there's different plugins that you can incorporate.
Right.
So again, we sit down, have that conversation. What kind of site are you trying to have?
Sure.
And then based on that, we kind of figure it in and say, okay, on a monthly basis, this is what it would cost. There's no upfront setup fee, nothing.
Oh, nice. Again, with that major cost structure, God forbid that the business doesn't make it.
Right.
That money's out the door. I mean, it's gone.
And part of that program, so basically every 3 years, we will do a complete rework of the whole website.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's something different. I don't know if I've ever heard that before. Because most of the time the website developers are going to go, okay, well, come on back in here. We're very happy to work with you again. Right. Let's see what we can do. Oh, you want this flashy thing, and you want that, and you want this.
But yeah, the industry standard is you should basically be updating your webs like a full refresh every 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
So we decided at 3 years we will sit down with you and do a full refresh on your website.
Oh, great. Well, that's very cool. That conversation should be had. If you got a business going, you should have that in your hip pocket. You should have that available.
And the other big side is, and it drives me absolutely bonkers, is so many companies do not have their site mobile ready.
Oh, sure.
I mean, 90% of the time, if you're out somewhere, people are using their cell phone to try and find a business.
Right.
And if your website comes up and it's like, either super big on the phone or it's really small because it's trying to fit the whole page on your phone, it makes it hard to use. And then you want to look at something else because you're like, I can't see anything, I can't find anything.
Yeah.
So
it's too easy to go to another
You go to
page.
a different business and move on.
Right. You don't want your business to be in that situation, that trick bag. No, that's very cool. Well, this has been a pretty cool conversation we've had here, Doug. Now, with One-Click obviously moving for the future, there's probably endless things that we could talk about with that because IT just seems to be changing weekly.
Right.
I mean, every day there seems to be something new that's going on. Do you have any quick tips for people? I mean, if they're in the business world and they're wondering about different things IT like, or issues that they should be looking at. I know we were talking about the crypto thing a few moments ago. Is there some other things that maybe would be a quick hit for somebody to look at for their IT world?
Give us a call to help.
Okay. There we go.
We always got to advertise.
One click.
But I mean, there's tons and tons of resources out there as far as different things of what's the latest and greatest.
Yeah.
So, and you can always do all kinds of reading, but a lot of times too, ultimately, if you give us a call, we can sit down, have a meeting with you and see where we can help.
Okay. Well, I think that's probably one of the biggest time savings that can be happening too, because you, as a novice possibly, looking at what you have going on with your IT world, might not know all the ins and outs and the battles that you should be looking at or thinking about. To have somebody on your side to be looking over your shoulder in a way, so to speak, to help with that, I think is really important.
Yep.
I do a lot of things with IT, and I'm in that boat because there's so many new things going on. You can't keep track. You can't keep up with it. But there's always a solution if you're willing to look for it. And how do you want to do that? Do you want to be on your own over here going, okay, I can battle through this, I can look through all of this stuff and spend a month looking at something instead of a call with you guys and saying, oh yeah, we work with that. We can do this, and we can have that done for you, next week or whatever it is.
Right.
I think that should be the idea there because time is money.
Yeah, we've, in all of the products that we use, we've tested them, we've used them for years, we know their functionality, we can stand behind it and say, important. We know that this works in the way that you want it to work.
Yeah, and that's again, back to the time is money. Nobody has as much time in their life to be able to do all the things that they want to do. Why would you want to be battling with this and not have a friend?
Right.
On your
side?
I mean,
personally, I've been in the IT industry for about 12 years, and there's probably 1,000 things that I don't know. But that's why we have a whole team of people that everybody has different experiences, and we, can share those things and ask questions.
Help. What a great concept.
It's always a team effort. It's not just, a one person thing.
Fantastic. Now, how is the best way that somebody can get a hold of you? What would you say is
Probably the
best?
quickest way is check out our website, which is
Okay.
oneclickwi.com.
Okay.
ONE, the number one.
Okay.
Or, well, the word one.
Okay.
So oneclickwi.com.
Okay. Fantastic. Now, obviously, if they're reaching out and they don't know where they want to go with a lot of things, I'm assuming on the website there might be some ways to be able to navigate that a little bit.
There's different contact us pages.
Okay.
You know, there's pages for just general information, and then of course there's obviously some sales pages on there as well.
Okay, so they can kind of find their way around that. Now, when they're looking to maybe work with you directly, how is that possible?
Well, probably the quickest way. My email is doug@oneclickwi.com.
Perfect, perfect. Send him an email. Talk with him. Doug can give you a lot of information and get you in the direction that you need. So I can't recommend One Click enough. It's been a great conversation today. And over the last several weeks, we've had great conversations at the events and different things to learn about what you have going on. I'm super happy we've been able to have you in here today.
Well, thank you again very much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So remember, oneclickwi.com. And thank you for watching Rely on Local. It's been a fantastic time. Please subscribe, like, and share this. We're always trying to help local in any way. Please give us some feedback. If you have some questions or some ideas or some conversation starters, we'd love to be able to engage in the community a little bit differently in helping local. Again, I'm Nick with RelyLocal. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.